Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft video. This is Astocky here. Not sure if you just noticed that popped up there, but it says you have not started a creation quest, press L bracket for more information. What I've worked out that I could do is I could remap the millionaire keys to the right and left square bracket, and what that basically means now is when you are here and you are typing anything that has a letter M in it, it doesn't automatically just poop itself and kick you back to the beginning. These spawners here though that I'm currently highlighting still cause a number of issues. So if I try and type generator, you can see that everything disappears until you type N-E-R-A-T, and eventually you get to the point where things start to work again. But there are still a number of issues to do with not enough items and millionaire, which is part of the reason I took it out last time. But back to daytime, I thought it was worth having. Now just a little something else is I did an epic fail last time when I was trying to demo how to make a rapid pulsar out of redstone, and I can just imagine you guys were just screaming at your computers, and certainly at least one of my subscribers commented that they basically were just screaming at their computer because I couldn't get it to work. So I just wanted to, I guess, show now that I do know how to make a rapid pulsar, and the issue was that I was just cramping myself up and not giving myself enough room to be able to get it to work correctly. So if we take this and put it there, so I can get the rapid pulsar to work, and then if I was to put that just there, that would drive a piston. The problem I was having is I was running the redstone too close, and by running it too close it was straight away feeding back on the torch itself, and it just wasn't working. So just just a quick start to the video to let you know I sort of am not totally incompetent when it comes to redstone. I just don't plan my videos very well when it comes to doing stuff like this on the fly, and hopefully you guys don't find that too frustrating, because I know that happens a lot in my different Let's Play videos, that I try things and they really just don't work very well. So there's a number of people who I've seen from different postings on different things don't really know that much about the red power mod. Now it's a pretty extensive mod that allows you to do some crazy things. Something that everyone sees lots of is this blue powder stuff here, nickelite, but no one really knows what they're meant to do with it. So what I thought I would really quickly just now is show you one or two of the things you can do with nickelite, just as a, I guess you'd call it just a really quick sort of showcase of some of the red power stuff. So I'll give myself lots of it, might give myself a crafting bench as well, just so I can actually make something with it. Okay, so the first thing you want to make once you get your nickelite is you want to make, well, really the purpose of having nickelite as opposed to just having the standard red power is you get an alloy furnace, which is this one just here, and if we press R, you can see how you make it. It is just bricks in the same pattern as a furnace, and so we will put that down, and what that will allow us to do is all manner of really cool things. So we'll grab a lot of coal, throw a stack of coal in there, except I'm on delete mode still. And the first thing that an alloy furnace can do, which is really quite cool, is let's say for some reason you have a lot of buckets and you don't really want buckets. Well, the first thing you can do is you can now smelt a bucket, or let's say we had a iron pick that we didn't want, you can take one of those as well, and you can smelt them and they will turn back into the number of iron ingots. Sometimes picks don't work because for some reason the system thinks they're damaged, but definitely buckets work, and you can do ladders and take some rail. You need a lot of rail because you make 16 rail for every 6 iron, so you really do need lots of it to be able to actually get anywhere. But you can see that you can do that. Iron ingots. So obviously red power has a number of different aspects to it. The first thing is that you take redstone and you put redstone in here with some iron, and it makes you a new kind of material which is called a red alloy ingot, which is just this. So that's a red alloy ingot there, so we'll make myself a whole lot of them and let that keep doing its thing. And then what you do is by putting the red alloy ingots up like this, you make red alloy wire. Now red alloy wire is very useful for a couple of reasons. What I'll do though is just really quickly give the most basic demonstration of what it's really good for. So 3, 4, 5, you get the idea. We run a nice long track here, and everyone I'm sure has seen this with redstone, where you run it for a while and you go, wow, how many blocks have I just run that for? Do I need to throw a repeater in? And more often than not the answer is yes. So if I throw my redstone torch down, bam, we get around about halfway around, and somewhere over here it stops, and you go, darn it, it didn't work. Well, now what this wire allows you to do, among other things, is there is a limit, but it's quite a substantial limit, so I can give myself a huge amount of this stuff, and I can just run this absolutely wherever I feel like it, and it will just keep going. You don't even have to take a straight line, you can take a zigzag pattern, and you can see that it connects with normal redstone, but it can't then connect back to it. I think it might be able to if you do it that way. No, so it doesn't. It connects to redstone circuits, but doesn't get connected back to from them. So the next thing you do is you go, well, I want to have some blocks. So let's say I want to raise some blocks up, and oops, that's not what I wanted. Stupid wall. And you go, I want to get to the top of that block, but I don't really want to have to do like a zigzag pattern going backwards and forwards to get up. So with this you just go right up, creative, go on, and then there you go. I've run it up the wall and across the top. And you also don't have to go across the top. You can actually, if you had a big long series of blocks like this, and you had no real reason not to, you can just decide I want to run it around the side. You know, I want to keep my redstone wiring hidden from view from someone on the other side. I believe you can also run it along the bottom of things. So if I was to take that one off, you can then throw your redstone wire. Seriously, stop screaming. I can tell you guys are screaming at me again because I'm just failing. And you can see that it is still running the original signal from that original torch that was way over that way. So that's cool. So that's a red power signal wire. That's important because what it does is it runs a signal that allows you to drive the most basic of red power machines. The next thing that you have is you have blue. And so you have blue alloy ingots. And I'll turn creative off and show you how to make some blue alloy ingots. So the first you need is obviously lots of nickelite, which I have lots of. Now this is, lots of people get silver and go, well, what do I do with silver? Well, this is what you do with silver. You take your nickelite and put it in a furnace with silver, and it will make you bum ba da ba. Eventually it'll make you, come on, a blue alloy ingot. So we'll just stop this for a moment, and what a blue alloy ingot will allow you to do is, if we go blue again and get lots of them, and what we can now make in the crafting bench is this particular stuff here, which is blue alloy wire. So I'll show you the recipe for it. You need 3 blue alloy ingots and any kind of wool as an insulator. So that's right, it needs to be insulated. So we'll come up like this, and we will use blue wool as an insulator because it's just convenient. Now the type of wool does not matter. You will always get the same blue alloy wire, whereas with red alloy wire, if I was to put light blue on either side of it, you end up with light blue insulated wire, which is distinctly different from, if we take blue wool, you get blue insulated wire, and you can see that those two will not stack. Whereas if I do the same thing and use the dark blue to make this blue power wire, it is still the same wire and it still stacks. So just to quickly show what these are like, if I was to run this blue, you can see that it connects and then it connects back. But if I was to run some light blue, I can now run the light blue directly side by side with the other one and it won't connect. So that allows you to do some really complicated, intricate circuits. And there's even an additional thing that comes with red power, that I have forgotten the name of, so I can't search for it, which is this thing just here. So we have a null cell, so I'll give myself one of those, and what they allow you to do is to put that down just there. If we break that for a moment, what it allows me to do is run a separate red alloy wire left to right across a square as right to left. So one block running two distinct signals in two different directions through it. So there are some really cool things with the red power mod, but I've got distracted because what I wanted to show you is this blue wire. So you can see that it has a blue core, and what it is power wire. So I will really quickly show you what you have to do with that. The first thing you have to make is a silicon boil. Boil, I think it's called. And that is made by coal and sand. Now it does say 8 because you do need 8 blocks of each. So we'll take some sand and we'll take some of this coal, and that will make me one silicon boil. But that by itself isn't enough. Then what you need is you need a saw, and to actually get this to work you need a diamond hand saw, which is 2 diamond, some iron and some sticks. So that's enough, don't need any more of those. Then you come to your crafting bench, you put your boil down, you put your diamond handsaw down, and you get wafers. And now you put wafers in here with redstone. And that will give you red doped wafers. Now red doped wafers are used in the manufacture of red power circuits that allow you to make some of the more complicated first tier machines. The next one is nickelite, and it's not one, it is 4 pieces of nickelite per wafer. So you do need a lot of nickelite to make it. Something that's been fixed in the most recent version is that you now drop the same amount of bits of nickelite per ore as you do redstone, so it's now 4 on average instead of what it was previously. And then if you have lots of these, so let's go blue doped wafers, let's get lots of them, and then you run them around the edge, and I think you put a blue alloy in the center, and you end up with, this is not to be confused with the other kind of solar panel, which is a industrial craft solar panel. This is a blue power solar panel. Oops, wrong button. Make it back to daytime so everyone can see nicely. So if I run a number of these, they are each self-connecting, so just by the sides of them touching each other they provide power to each other. And then if I run my blue alloy wire up to it, it should get power from that panel. There's only one way to be sure, and that is to build the thing that you really want to build, which is a blue furnace, which is blueprint library. There we go, a blue electric furnace. And so that furnace is made with clay, iron ingots and a blue alloy ingot. And this is roughly as fast as a furnace that you would get using, an electric furnace from Industrial Craft. So you can see here I have not got any power, which means that has not correctly connected. But I should be able to, if I run this to the edge, should be able to hopefully get this to connect up. There we go. So now if we look at it, we can see that it is slowly building up charge, and then once it builds up charge it just becomes like anything else. So you can see that it's got up to not quite the orange level, which means these panels here are not providing enough power for it to work efficiently. So obviously you add some more. I have not done a lot of testing with these, so I'm not sure how many you actually need to get it to work, but there you go. You can now see that it's gone up to the full yellow, and the efficiency has gone up to full, which means it is now ready to start smelting things. The higher the efficiency bar here, the faster it will smelt, and you can see that that's kind of going up again because the sun is getting higher. I think it works something like that. But I think they still make some power at night, so they're not totally useless at night. whack some more in there just to make sure we have, there we go, we're now absolutely full. So what do I have that I want to smelt? Let's go for some ore. Let's throw some gold ore. So you can see that it really does smelt quite quickly, and you can see that also the little bar went down just a tiny little bit. The next thing you can build with blue electric power is blue electric. Let's go for, just type in battery, that'll work. So here we have a BT battery. Oops. And that is made with, again, lots of nickelite, copper and tin. The battery by itself though is no use. What you need to do is take those batteries and turn them into a battery box, like such. And I will take one of those, and if I attach it to the wire here and right click on it, you can see that the power builds up, and once the power is high enough, power will start flowing into the battery and it will start filling it. Okay, so now power is flowing back out of the battery to charge that back up. Now power is flowing back in. So this is actually, it's actually quite complicated. It works and it does the calculations just like an electric circuit. So each one of these gives a bit of voltage, and the more voltage you have, the more current flows to a lower voltage, which is what the battery is currently at. It's at quite a low voltage, and it works out its own potential and it works out its own current flow basically. So it's a pretty complicated machine and setup, but as you can see here, that is now actually giving me a little animation on the side to let me know how much power is stored in it. So what I'll do is I'll just pause the video here and I'll come back once that's fully charged and you can see what I'm doing. Actually, while I'm waiting for this to charge, I thought I'd show you another device. There is a thing called a voltmeter, and that is made as such, and what it allows you to do is if I click on this thing just here, it says it's currently reading 94 volts, 94.55 volts, 29 amps, 31 amps. So you see it kind of fluctuates all over the place as it does its calculations, but you can see my battery is now 100% fully charged. I'd actually add a lot more of these. Now this is not normally how you would do it. You would normally have lots of battery packs and just a couple of solar panels because they're easy to make, and you would go away and let it charge itself and come back. So what I'm going to do here is break this so that you can see there's now lots of voltage but basically no current flow because it's going to reach a steady state. And now if I was to show you the battery, you can see that it's full. I will once again throw a whole lot of ore in here, and you can see that the battery should now, as soon as this starts to drop a little bit in terms of how much charge it's got in it, this system here will start outflowing power out of the battery into the furnace. So when it's fully charged, it does actually last quite a long time. So it's not an inefficient system, and like I said, it does go very fast. But you can see that it's pulling sort of 5-ish amps. So there you go, you can see that it's starting to drop now, and now this should be showing that it's dropping as well. And once it gets down, there you go, as it's just about to leave the green, which is its maximum efficiency, the battery starts providing power back out to basically hold it at full charge. And now all the current for the furnace, all 16-ish amps, is coming out of the battery, and you'll watch it and the voltage will slowly drop over time as the battery discharges. So that's kind of the basics of it. Now there's a new device that's come out very recently in Red Power 2. But again, I'm very new to this and I can't for the life of me think of what the name is right now. What it does is it takes the differential heat between two things, so say a block of lava and something else, and it will basically produce a current based on the heat differential. All I've got to do now is try and find the blocks. There's my charging benches, scaffolds. Okay, welcome back. It seems that for some reason it doesn't show up in not enough items. So it is definitely called a THERMO pile. So the THERMO, and it's not coming up. So it's okay, I clicked on the wrong button. Where's my iron? So it definitely seems like it's an issue with not enough items, not with me. And so there's my thermopile. There is also another device you can make, which you make as such, which is called a project table. So project table I'm new to, I have not seen that before, so I don't actually know what it does, but I believe it allows you to do some interesting and unique things to do with manufacturing. So what I will do now is run this cable over here a little bit. I haven't actually seen a thermopile ever work before, so I don't actually know exactly what the requirements are for it to work, but I've been told that it measures a difference in heat. So if I take a lava bucket, I should hopefully be able to put that there and have this thing generate some power, I think. Yeah, but not a very good demo again, but if you give me 1 second I will work out what I'm doing and I will come back. Okay, what it does is it measures the difference in temperature between adjacent blocks. So if I put a block of ice down beside it on another side, say there, it should start producing power, which should hopefully charge this thing up. I'm not seeing that it's doing that, so what I might need to do is I might need to build something to store the lava in and then try again. Again, this is all sort of new to me. I haven't played with these before. I have every intention of playing with them, but I just haven't had an opportunity to yet. But the idea of this particular device is that it will produce power using something as simple as a heat differential. So you should be able to put lava on one side and a block of water on another side, and it will produce power when your solar panels aren't producing power. So it doesn't produce very much power, but again, over time it will continuously produce power for you to give you everything that you need. So that's, I guess it's actually been much worse than I thought it would be. It turns out red power is a much more complicated mod than I thought it was when I first decided I was going to demo some of the stuff in it. But it is a really an excellent mod that I don't think gets rated highly enough. It allows you to do some really cool things, yeah, like such, that there's no other way you would be able to do it in Minecraft. Certainly if you were running normal redstone wire, you would just be at a loss as to how to do some of these intricate patterns and some of these, like I had before, where you have something overlap something else. This is all really good things that have been added to the mod that really, I think, add a lot of improvement to it. And they also take a lot of ingredients and a lot of time to make, so they're not things that are unbalancing and that they're too easy to get. I think if anything they might be just a slight bit too hard to get. So we'll come over here and see how this thing's going. You can see it's still just carrying along, just filling itself up. Because it's probably getting to the point where it's nearly getting full. Oh, it's spitting my wool out. Never mind, apparently wool doesn't work. Wool doesn't have enough energy. Poor Mr. Snowman. I'm going to turn that off because that's a bit annoying. So if you guys would like to see in the next episode anything in particular in terms of a bit of an overview of some of the things you can do with the mods or how they might work together, because notice that timer that's running there, that's much simpler than building the circuit that I built over here, is it's part of red power. So it's an excellent part of red power that adds a whole lot of new features if you want to do redstone in a real confined space. The other thing it lets you do is it lets you do sequences, RS latches, NOR gates, so all your basic circuits it lets you do really quickly in a really small area. Like this one is just amazing. This is a toggle latch. You have some redstone running to it, and if I put a torch down, got to run over here and get my torch, and it will toggle the output on and off and on and off and on and off, and my ice melted. So there you go, you can see it toggle it again. So if you were to build one of those using pistons or you were to build one using just normal redstone, you'd be looking at an area probably as big as all I've been messing around with here just to build one of those, and here you just build it with a single block. So again, red power adds some really cool things that I see a lot of people in videos say, oh, silver, silver's a waste of time, don't worry about silver, or don't worry about nickelite, nickelite's useless. Well, it turns out, they're not useless. They are, intricate parts of red power, and red power is a pretty cool mod. So thanks very much for watching. Sorry about the stuffing around in the center while I ended up finding out that it wasn't me that was wrong, it's not enough items. Again, thank you very much for watching. Astocky out.